What's up, everybody? Totally super stoked today, y'all. This is Prophet James Dale with Thine Kingdom Come Ministries and giving you some food for whose journey? Your journey. Think it's a game, don't you? Don't you? Well, I am super excited. Me and my wife are here, and we want to welcome somebody that we are familiar with, that the Lord has placed in my life. She is a protege, a daughter in the ministry, and we want her to come up here and spread her wings and fly. And if she fall out the nest, then we'll just pick her back up, and, as long as she don't break her neck, now I'm messing with you. But we're going to lift her up, because I believe in the spirit realm at this time for her to release a word. She got this word from some weeks ago, and I just told her I'm going to throw it to the sharks. So y'all want y'all to give us some love at this time, and may she be able to bless you indubitably. And her name is Mrs. Josie. Come on down. Come on in here. God bless you.
Thank you.
Her name is Josie Rios. Y'all thought I didn't know. Y'all thought I didn't know, didn't you? Come on in here, girl, and drop that word. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. I'm out the way.
Thank you. So, I am truly blessed to be here today. A little nervous, but you know what? God's going to do His will, and He is going to be, He's going to use me for a word for you. And so, first off, I do want to thank James and Phoebe for allowing me to be here, allowing the Lord to, lead them into pushing me, as He says, into the sharks. God has really been doing some amazing things in my life. I started out this journey probably over a year ago. And I came to James probably right after that, and I told James, I said, James, I said, God's been talking to me, and He's been telling me, that I need to get a mentor, someone to show me, the path that I need to be on and what I need to do, and He keeps showing me you. And so James happily took me under his wings, and he's kind of been, mentoring me and, kind of guiding me through this journey. And he came up to me, or actually he called me, and he says, God, put something on my heart, and He gave me 2 scriptures about 2 different wives, and that these 2 different wives were completely different. One of them stood up for her husband and, went to bat for him. The other one actually died with her husband. And, because her husband lied, he died, and then she turned around and died with him. And he gave it to me, and I was at that point in my life, or in that point, I was battling getting separated from my husband and figuring out, okay, what kind of wife do I want to be? And when he first gave it to me, I was really, really stoked, because, God was telling me, He was showing me, these different things, which kind of wife do you want to be? Do you want to be this type of wife? Do you want to be that type of wife? And so I was reading on it, and, I was doing what I thought that I needed to be doing, and then all of a sudden, God switched it on me. And my journey took a whole different turn. It went from me praying constantly to God, asking God to show me what kind of wife I needed to be, to a husband. And again, I was fighting the fact that I was separated, and I was praying to God, asking Him to mend that, to restore that. And, I prayed. And so as He gave me that, I read these 2 stories, and I kept saying to myself, okay, well, which wife am I? Am I this wife, or am I going to be this wife? And then all of a sudden, my path changed. And it went from being, I'm wanting this marriage and I'm wanting it to work, to going on a completely different path. And so I had to shift gears. Instead of going this way, he showed me going this way. And so all of a sudden, things changed, and, it was no longer about this, it was about this. And, James called me probably about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and he said, are you ready? We're going to do this. He was like, are you ready for this? And I was all like, oh, yeah. And then he asked me that simple question. Has anything changed? Is it still the same sermon you were going to do, about the two wives? He was like, anything's changed? And I was like, no, nothing's changed. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to talk about. And then I was driving and I was going to the chiropractor, and all of a sudden, God spoke to me. And when he spoke to me, I was just kind of driving and I was like, wait a minute. Why is he giving me this? Why is he telling me this? And so I texted James back and I said, you know what? It has changed. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. I said, he's telling me Lot's wife. And it was funny because I was all like, how is it that I can talk about Lot's wife? And so as I was driving to the chiropractor the way I was just like, okay, Lot's wife, okay. And that's all I kept hearing is him saying Lot's wife and Lot's wife and Lot's wife. And I was just like, okay. So I went home and I pulled up my little friendly little app and I looked up Lot's wife. Because I had only heard a small thing about Lot's wife. The only thing I knew about Lot's wife is that when she turned back, she turned into a pillar of salt. That is the main thing about Lot's wife. So I went in and I kind of researched and, I read the story about Lot and, in Genesis where it says, that Lot took his wife and, they went to Canaan and, they were there and, but where they were at, it was evil. Everything there was everything was wrong. Everything was completely chaotic. There was nothing there that was good, and everything. So I was just like, okay. So then, an angel came to him at that point in Genesis, in Genesis 19:50, it says, with coming of dawn, the angel urged Lot, saying, hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished. So God was telling him, take your family and go. And so what did Lot do? He took his family, his wife, his daughters, his family, and he left. Well, when he left the city, his wife turned around. And they really didn't even say her name. It's just Lot's wife. But she turned around and she turned into a pillar of salt. So I asked God, okay, God, what does this story mean to me? What is it about this story that you want me to relate to people? What is it that you're actually telling me or wanting me to talk about? And as I kept thinking about it and as I kept praying about it, because I was like, God, there really isn't a lot to the story of Lot and Lot's wife. I mean, they really aren't in any other part of the Bible. They're really not, talked about much except for the beginning of the Bible. So I kept thinking, okay, God, what is it? What is it about Lot and his wife that is important at this time? And then God said to me, what is the reason why Lot's wife turned around? What's the reason behind her turning around? So I sat there and I said, why did she turn around and look back? And he told me, because she didn't know what was ahead of her. She didn't know what was ahead of her. She knew everything that was behind her because she'd been living that life. She knew exactly what was going on. She was comfortable there. She was, everything that she needed was there. But she had no idea what was in front of her. And the one thing that came to mind was fear. Fear of the unknown. And so I kept thinking, I was like, you're right, God. She was afraid. She knew everything that was back there. She knew, but she didn't know what was up front. And then it hit me. God was actually speaking to me at that moment. He was telling me, you keep wanting everything that was back in the back. Everything in your past. The life that you had before me, you wanted. And I'm trying to take you forward, not backwards. And that's what happened. That's why she looked back, is because she did not want to let go of what she had in the past. Even though she wanted to be with her husband and go with her husband, she didn't want to let go of it. She didn't want to let go of what she knew because it was so unfamiliar to her. Because everything going forward was going to be so unfamiliar and was going to be so unknown. And that's what we do. That's what I was doing at that particular moment. I wanted my life that I had prior to God because I knew what it was. I knew exactly how to live. I knew exactly what to think. I knew exactly what my life entailed because I lived it so long and I knew exactly what it was. I knew from the moment I got up in the morning until the time I went to bed exactly what I was going to do. I was going to get up. I was going to go to work. I was going to come home and I was going to take care of my daughter. I was going to make dinner. I was going to put her to bed. And then I was going to go to bed. That was my life. That is what I knew. And the husband that I was married to, that's who I knew. Because that is what my life was. And it was so, every day was almost the same thing every day. Nothing really changed. Everything was there. So when I thought about it, and when I thought about moving forward, I felt like I was at a standstill at that point. I felt like I was the one getting ready to turn into that pillar of salt because I did not want to move forward in what God had me doing. I wanted to stay where I was at, or I wanted to take those steps back to the familiar, to the known, instead of taking those steps forward to the unknown. But God had a different plan for me, and He has a different plan for you. But you have to quit holding on to what you have in the past. You can't keep looking back and thinking that you can take what you have in the past and bring it forward. You have to let it go. And you have to be able to move forward in what He has for you. You know, when He gave me that, I was just like, okay, God, I hear you now. I hear you. But how do I do it? How do I move forward? How do I get rid of that spirit of fear that I have of the unknown? And then He took me to my app of my Bible and He said, how many times in there do I speak about the spirit of fear? And I was just like, I don't know how many times. So He went and He had me look in there. There's over 50 times in there that God is telling you, trust me. Trust me. I have not given you that spirit of fear. I have given you the spirit of power and strength and wisdom, not the spirit of fear. So I kept looking in the Bible and I kept saying, okay, God, I was looking at fear and I was looking at fear, and then he hit me again. Oh my gosh, I'm just like, God, how many more? And he's all like, that is me. I am your husband. I am the one that's going to take you forward. And I'm trying to move you out of harm's way. I'm trying to get you out of the hot seat. I'm trying to move you forward and be able to protect you from what was back there. Everything that you was back there, all it was going to do was harm you. It wasn't going to be good for you. It wasn't going to be good for you. And at that moment, I broke down in tears because I said, okay, God, if you're telling me to let go, okay. But are you going to be with me every step of the way? Are you going to be with me when I take those steps forward? And he told me, have I ever left you? Even in the times when you felt like I wasn't there, I was there with you. Every night that you cried your tears and you wanted to hold on, I was there. Every time that you begged me to make your marriage work, I heard you. But I had something better for you. I wanted something more for you. You just had to let go so I could show you what I had for you. The more I have for you, the happiness that I have for you, the new dreams that I have for you, the new doors that I'm trying to open for you, the new love that I'm trying to show you. But you have to quit looking back, because there's not anything good there. There's not anything that is going to make you happy there. There is not anything in your past that you need to bring forward. He's telling you now, leave your past in the past. You've already been there. You've already done that. And I've already closed that door. Quit trying to open it when I've already closed it. Quit trying to get and manipulate things from your past, thinking that that's what I want from you or want for you. It isn't what I want for you. I want more for you. I want more for your life. I want more for your happiness. You are my child, first and foremost, and I want so much more for you. And at that moment, I broke in tears. Because I was the one that was about to turn into that pillar of salt. I was the one that was kept looking back. I was that one. And he showed me in that small little story of Lot and his wife, he showed me what he wanted for me and what he wants for you. He doesn't want you to look back. He doesn't want you to carry your past behind you. He doesn't want you to continue to live the life without him. He wants you to have more. He wants you to have that joy. He wants you to have that peace that only he can give you. He wants you to be so happy in life and enjoy the life that he's given you. But you can't. You can't do it if you keep looking back. You can't do it if you don't allow him to move you forward. So right now I'm asking you, take a moment. Think about what you're holding on to. Think about what you're dragging behind you that you don't want to let go of. Ask God, what do you want me to let go of? What do you want me to release so that I can have the abundance that you have for me? What is it that's holding me back? Because I want to live the life that you have for me. Not the life that I have for me, but the life that you have for me. I pray that you take a moment just to do that. Just to be released from what he has for you. Just to be in that moment with him. It was an amazing journey that he gave me. And in that small moment, it was such a big revelation. And it was just amazing. And I thank Phoebe and James for this opportunity and this moment. And I pray that this blesses you in your life. I thank you and I praise God for this moment. And I hope you enjoy it.